Well, I've said it before. This is going to be the last time I say it, though. Because this war is over. It has to be over. Everything comes up Union this week. Victory in the East. Victory in the West. Substantial armies surrendering to General Grant. It is over. It's just a matter. We gotta get together at that table and sign some dotted lines. Chalk this shit up over. We're done. Hello and welcome to Civil War in Hindsight. I'm Lieutenant Tommy. With me, as always, is Prospector Johnny. And Johnny, I got myself a wee little bottle of champagne because you're gonna be excited all week long. Over? It's gonna be. It's not. We're not. The papers haven't been signed, but they are imminent. Everything this week, Johnny, is coming up Union. The Anaconda Plan, everything we talked about. Spoiler: the Mississippi's ours, Johnny. We got the Mississippi.
It's all working. Everything together.
Everything works. So I gotta.
Oh, that's so fancy. All right, so we have to start.
I gotta figure out how to.
Yeah.
So I'm not a fancy officer, Johnny. I gotta figure out how to open this.
That's
thing.
all right. That's okay.
You
get that open. This is exciting because we will need to start planning what we are going to do for our finale when the dotted line is finally signed and we're one country again.
That's going to be important.
So we're going to have some big party over the next couple weeks.
Oh, for sure. Massive party.
Easily. Yeah. Okay, that's great. Maybe we could do a live. We'll get together and we can live stream like the signing of the surrender papers. You're not gonna be able to drink that, are you?
This is not. Oh, there it goes.
Not a cork.
There's not a cork.
One of those fancy new
Look at that twisty
champagne
top
that they just invented here in 1863.
Bottle of champagne that was defeated the point of the episode. There was supposed to be like a cork that goes.
You should have tried sabering it anyway, sir.
That did not work. I'm afraid if sabering a tiny bottle like this would not have gone well. I fear
letdown number one of the week, so I hope the rest of it's good.
Well, Johnny, buckle up. Time to celebrate. Everything's coming up, Union. Week's going to open up on July 3rd with the conclusion of the Battle of Gettysburg. Lee's plan is to do exactly what he did the second day, which was attack the flanks, which did not work out for him.
And it worked.
The Union's going to put a kibosh to that when at dawn they open up a massive artillery barrage on Longstreet's positions. And Longstreet goes to Lee and says, listen, you thought they were entrenched yesterday. They are entrenched today. And they just shelled the shit out of me with artillery, which means that if I go across that field, it's just going to be a lot of boom sticks. And I don't want to,
Yeah. And then Lee said, do it anyway?
No, Lee goes, okay, all right, so the flanks are out of the question. So if they strengthen the flanks, then the center's got to be the weakest. So we'll attack at the center with Pickett's division. And Longstreet goes, and I also don't like that idea. That sounds really stupid. There's a mile of open ground. Have you looked at the ground, Lee? It's a mile of open ground. It's a mile of open ground, and you want me to cross that.
Space.
And Lee goes, don't worry. I will open it up with the largest artillery barrage that the America has ever seen. And again, Longstreet goes, cool. I'm going to need at least 30,000 men to make this even remotely viable. Lee goes, you get 12.
At
which point
half.
Longstreet goes,
That's
again,
not even half what he wanted.
We're the invaders here. We don't have to fight on this ground. Gettysburg serves no real strategic significance. Why don't we just go around
Choose your battles.
Gettysburg and maybe find land that's a little bit more suitable for an attack or defense? And Lee goes, nope, across the field we go. So at 1 o'clock, the largest artillery barrage opens up on U.S. soil ever.
Oh, that had to have been devastating to the northern troops.
No, it wasn't. They shot over us.
What?
Just nothing happened. Almost every is. I'm not saying it wasn't at all effective, but it wasn't at all effective. No, it was.
It wasn't what they were looking for.
It was not anywhere near what they were looking for, and they used up all their ammunition in this 2-hour barrage, so they had no artillery cover for the infantry when they get out of the tree line at 3 o'clock.
So wait. Yeah, so the artillery thing wasn't so that they would be distracted while they charged. It was before.
It was before to weaken up the Union lines. Yeah.
why were they so careful to shoot so far over our heads then? I thought that was to not hit their own people.
Well, Johnny, they couldn't see where they were hitting because there's a bit of a degree of fog. Yeah, they were just overestimating where they were aiming at. And again, smoothbore guns, not the most accurate in the world.
Okay, well,
and so,
good for us, I suppose.
And then pretty much immediately as Pickett's division leaves the tree line, he gets waylaid with Union artillery from all across the battlefield, including Little Round Top.
But some of that sweet rifled artillery.
Yeah, some of that
right?
sweet rifle is really
good
accurate.
old accurate.
And then
gonna hit you.
The last 500 yards of this charge, they get a march, not only under artillery fire, but now off Union infantry fire too. All the
now the guns come
shooting
out
at them, point blank. Surprisingly, it doesn't work out for Pickett. And his troops have to retreat after barely making it to the Union lines. And I mean barely, like a handful of them got to what they call the angle, took a cannon, realized that cannon was out of ammunition, and then had to retreat.
Imagine being some of the few that make it through the hell mile-long walk. To get to your destination and then be like, oh, this was a mistake, and then have to
I think most of them
around and book it.
I mean, this shows you how much of a coward I am. If I was in that march, I'm pretty sure the minute I cross the tree line and the first artillery round lands, I'm going to be like, oh, God, I got hit by shrapnel. And
Tommy,
I'm right down.
I would have. You know how quickly I'd be a deserter? Are you kidding me?
2 seconds. 2 seconds.
They'd be like, all right, go out of these woods and march across this field. Be like, get the hell out of here. I'm climbing this tree and hoping it doesn't get shot down.
Right. And Johnny, that's pretty much ends the Battle of Gettysburg. There are a couple of cavalry attacks that happened today. If you want big details, go watch our 3-part episode on Historical Night. We did it. You'll get all the information there. Long story short, battle's over. It is the bloodiest battle in U.S. history. 3,155 Union troops are killed, 14,529 wounded, 5,365 are missing and or captured. But Lee is going to lose a third of his general, a third of his army, for about 2,600 killed, 12,700-ish wounded, and 5,150 captured. This is a third of his army gone. Overnight.
Now, breaking that fourth wall a bit, this is the bloodiest battle to date. How long does that last? Is that through
to date
the war?
Still to date, this is the bloodiest battle.
Even currently in 2023, this is it.
50,000 casualties is done.
Jesus.
In one single battle.
Okay. Well, that's a lot.
Yeah. Unless you count like Hiroshima and Nagasaki, but like we didn't lose any people in those.
Well, but that's not us. No, I thought this was just American.
Yeah, just American lives. Yep. Although really, you should cut that number in half because those Confederates aren't Americans. They voted to leave and go to their own little fake country.
Well, but if we're gonna call them a belligerent nation, we have to still consider them Americans. They're just traitorous.
Fair
Americans.
Point. I get you. Fair point. Well, yeah, fair point. And Johnny, if this news at Gettysburg isn't good enough for you, at Vicksburg, Confederate forces begin to fly white flags and call for a ceasefire. They're tired of getting shelled. They are starving. They are slowly they have little to no ammunition. They have little to no food. They are starving. They fly the white flag. General Pemberton has requested a meeting with Grant to discuss terms of surrender. And Johnny, that sweet surrender is going to come on the 4th when the terms are unconditional. Like that's just unconditional. 29,000.
Yeah, you may surrender. That's fine. Go ahead.
29,000-ish hungry, sleep-deprived, supply-deprived troops are going to surrender to U.S. Grant, and in an odd-ish move, Grant allows them to go home. He makes them drop their guns and equipment in a big old pile in the center of the city and says, just go home.
You want to know what?
Now, his idea here is twofold.
I'm okay with this.
29,000 people is a lot. If he were to accept them as prisoners, that's 29,000 people he has to figure out what to do with.
That's a big city.
That's like half of his, that's like not half of his army, but that's a significant portion of his army that would be detailed into just what do we do with them. That'd be putting them on a train,
I have to now feed
getting them to a prison
them.
camp, whatever else. You got to feed them, you got to house them. That's a significant burden, not only on his army, but on the U.S. as a whole. So
Yeah, no.
his idea here is if I let him go and let him go home, that's 29,000 starving Confederates that are now going to go into the southern countryside.
Yep.
Fucking have it at it.
And they hungry.
Causing
They're gonna find a farm.
A big.
They're gonna eat that food.
Yeah, causing a big. A little bit of an issue.
Or even if maybe they don't, maybe they're welcomed back. It's 29,000 stories of whatever the last hellish month or 2 months, however long that siege was, and them telling, "Hey, this is a useless, pointless war. We're just losing lives and starving."
Yes,
and so that's a lot of discouragement.
That is a lot of discouragement. He does make them sign parole papers that say they promise that they will never take up arms again, and I feel that those papers are going to be about as useful as Confederate bucks.
Valuable.
Yeah, they're not going to be
valuable piece of paper there.
They're not going to be valuable.
We can definitely take the Southerners' word at face value.
Also, in an odd twist, those 29,000 men, Confederates, were probably the best supplied weapon-wise Confederates of the entire the Confederate Army. The majority of
weapons
Enfield rifled muskets that came in from England, that the Confederates bought from England and ran through the blockade, most of those wound up here in Vicksburg because they went up the Mississippi. And so Grant looks around at his army that is supplied in not necessarily the best manner and says, hey, guys, go to that pile of brand new Enfields that the Confederates bought and pick what you want and replace it. And so ye olden guns like my 1816 flintlock musket converted to a percussion system here, they're gonna drop this in the pile and get a nice new Enfield musket instead. So
all right.
So that's a little bit of
that's a
odd supply. Grant's campaign
seems like a good way to handle this.
Grant's Vicksburg campaign is an odd one in that the Union was outnumbered a lot of the time and had shittier equipment a lot of the time, which is not on par for any of the other campaigns anywhere else in this war. So I mean, that's just odd little fun history fact, or not. Just depends on what you want to look at. Anyways.
Yeah, it turns out it just sucks to have your city bombarded by artillery fire nonstop for months.
Yep, and it's only a matter of time now before Port Hudson realizes that they are in no position to keep a siege going.
They're next.
Because what else is going to go on?
Hey, now we're going to bring some more boats down here. We're going to do even more.
Yeah, because now they're going to be freed up. Out in Gettysburg, both sides collect their dead, wounded, and the Union on top of the hills at Gettysburg are going to watch General Lee pack up his army and wounded and supplies and what's left of it in wagons and start heading towards the Potomac because they are out at Gettysburg. Meade is going to sit there on the 4th, though, and not pursue.
Oh, of course. Because why would he?
Which is fine. We just a significant battle. 20,000 some odd casualties on our side. I get we got to lick our wounds a little bit, resupply. Let the guys have a day of rest. It's 4th of July. Celebrate by popping off some fireworks.
We can celebrate
have a
by
cookout or
popping
two.
off some artillery shells at the retreating Lee.
That would work too. Have a cookout or two, and then maybe on the 5th get to moving. But then Johnny on the 5th, they move. They're still not moving. But we do have another fun little odd news here on the 5th.
Probably from
a gunboat, a Confederate gunboat carrying Confederate Vice President Stevens is going to be turned away at Hampton Roads by order of Lincoln. Allegedly, Stevens was sent to negotiate a prisoner exchange and potential terms for a truce, as it just seems like the 4th and the 3rd did not go the way of the South. Lincoln is going to say, unless we're talking about, unless you're going to come up to me to sign the fucking peace treaty that says unconditional surrender and we're absorbing you back into the Union, get fucked. And so President Stevens,
watch his language. He's a president. This isn't very professional. Or
President Stevens has to go away. In Lee's army, like I said, full retreat on the Potomac. Meade is still sitting there. But we do have, it's only a matter of time before there's an official ceremony. Like maybe Trader President Davis's vice president will get back to him and be like, hey, look, Lee said, Lincoln said unconditional or nothing. All right, fine. I guess this war's over. We can't do
also,
maybe.
Hey, how about you show some damn respect and send your actual president instead of your vice fake president?
That might have been the thing. Yeah, that might have been the thing.
Send real Trader President David. Like, nobody wants a vice president to sign. What are you doing? They didn't mean it. They weren't looking for an actual truce.
No,
That's garbage.
They were looking for a prisoner exchange more than anything else. Anyways, on the 6th, Grant wastes no time, and he's going to send General Sherman towards Jackson to deal with Joseph Johnson's forces there. All right, we got one army taken care of. We got, like, 2 significant armies left in the West, and that's Johnson's and Bragg's, and Rosecrans is dealing with Bragg. I'm going to send Sherman over there to deal with Johnson. While we continue to we raise the U.S. flag over Vicksburg and take down that dirty rebel flag.
Oh, that's cool.
And through heavy range, Johnny, we get some good news here as Lee is trapped on the Union side of the Potomac. His army reaches the river and goes, shit, it's too high to cross. Running a bit too fast, too high to cross. So now he's stuck. And all we have to do is Meade's got to get down from those hills. Do one more big attack, and this war is over.
So join us next week when we sneak up behind Lee and destroy him and his army?
Maybe, I hope so. But right now, that's not happened. In Huntington, Indiana, Johnny, we got Indiana news.
Why?
But it's not good Indiana news. It's not good Indiana news.
No,
no,
you know what? If Indiana's involved at all, it's not good news.
No, it is a group of fraternity boys called the Knights of the Golden Circle, which is the dumbest fucking name I've ever heard in my life. They're a Confederate sympathizing group.
What Golden Circle?
They're a Confederate sympathizing group. Racist boys. So it's a racist boys club called the Copperheads, and they're going to break into a depot and steal a bunch of guns. So they can go and commit shenanigans. I mean, did they... Like, I understand that at one point...
Are they going to go join up?
I understand that at one point...
Get the hell out of here and join up.
You could own people in Indiana. That happened. It hasn't happened for many years. So maybe if you wanted to continue to own people, Kentucky
Get the hell out of here.
is right across the river. Fucking Kentucky.
Hey, how much you want to bet none of those guys who were in this little fake club of theirs had enough money to own folks?
That's probably,
and that's probably why they're super mad.
That's probably it. Anyway, Johnny, on the 7th, we're going to see Bragg's army begin to camp around Chattanooga, as that's about their last stronghold that they got left, because Rosecrans has pushed them there. So, although Rosecrans hasn't really gotten in the major battle, he's still like results.
No, that's what you want.
That's all that matters.
Goal.
Results.
Like,
yeah.
Fewer lives lost and land gained. That's what you want.
Lincoln is going to get word from General Halleck about the victories out of Vicksburg. He's going to get words from General Halleck about the victories out there at Gettysburg. And Lincoln is going to write, and I quote here, "Now if General Meade can complete his work so gloriously prosecuted thus far by the literal or substantial destruction of Lee's entire army, the rebellion will be over." But Meade is still not moving.
He's a Southern sympathizer.
He might be. Fucking Meade.
He's a hidden
Can we just get one general that's like, hit him again. Yeah, Grant, Grant just took over Vicksburg, and he's already moving his army again. The next day, he's like, we're moving to the next target.
Yep.
Target secured, next target going. So let's Lincoln, put Grant in charge. 2 armies have surrendered to him so far this time. I mean, name me another general that had an army surrender to him. Can't. And he's got 2. 2 armies. 2 full armies.
I mean,
over on the 8th, Johnny.
7 other ones I wouldn't have been able to.
Well, it's fine. On the 8th, Johnny, out in Port Hudson, it's going to surrender. We're going to see white flags flying up there with another call for, hey, what's the terms for this? Yeah. General Franklin Gardner of the Confederates is going to ask terms for General Banks. Banks says, unconditional. That's your terms. You surrender, you're done, or we keep this shit up.
We have one template of how you can surrender to us, and it is without condition.
Without condition.
We copied and pasted it for everybody and sent it to everywhere and said, "This is it. If someone wants to surrender, here are your conditions."
7,000 Confederates will be taken prisoner, and these guys are actually taken prisoner. There's no take their guns and send them home. They are.
Yeah.
But 7,000 is an easier number to manage than 29,000.
A third of what they were dealing with. Yeah, that's.
In the whole Mississippi, Johnny, it is now 100% free and clear traffic for the Union Army. The Confederacy is cut in 2. They have no substantial supply train or any way to get supplies from one end of the Confederacy to the next. They are done. The massive river transport
have no
is
way of
closed.
Really,
The war's over.
they can't stop us from getting supplies either. Really,
Can't stop us
right?
from getting
they-
supplies
Maybe
and
some
transferring
blockades
supplies.
somewhere in the Gulf. Or
We
something,
have rail
but-
lines that are standardized, and we don't have to switch tracks every 10 minutes because, states' rights. If we got an army, we can get it to wherever we need it to be and supply it in a reasonable time, unlike the Confederates now. It's over. It's over. What are you fighting for?
That's it.
What do you have left? Your country's literally
Tommy,
split
give him some time.
in
Hey.
twine.
Tommy, they've got to get all the communications back to home. They give them a week, all right? You can get upset for them not surrendering and keeping this war going if they're still around after next week, okay? Right
Fair
now,
enough.
you gotta let
Johnny-
let the wounds burn for.
I do have some side note. There might be a point of note here where you. So General Morgan, remember that guy, Confederate raider, the land pirate? Yeah, he's at it again.
Oh yeah.
He's been in Kentucky this week.
Don't call him general. He's just some jackass.
All right, so
who's-
jackass Morgan. He's being a jackass. He's in Ohio now. So
I'm sorry. Why? What's he doing in Ohio?
He's being a land pirate in Ohio. So maybe Johnny, hide your valuables. Get a gun. I don't know. We got to load that up. Do you need me to teach you how to load that little pistol up there, Johnny? You might need it.
I've actually lost it. I don't.
Sharpen up that axe, Johnny, because you might.
He's
need
not
it,
gonna come to
'cause
Indiana.
that's,
Though. He's in a.
Johnny, on the week's going to end on the 9th.
I'm a day's march from Ohio.
The week's going to end on the 9th when he is in Indiana and
What?
enters Corden. That's like a day's march
That's our
from
old
you.
capital. That's rural.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a day's march from you. You might want to button down the house. And with all this
Can I
good
borrow
news,
a cannon or two, please?
with all this good news, we'll see if Johnny's still around next week.